Now, let's take a look at the example promised in Part 1. The numbers I used came from Wikipedia and a Gallup poll, links below, but as you will see, the math is really only dependent on the percentage of votes the budget gets, which I base upon Obama's career lowest approval rating, according to the Gallup poll. The timings will be skewed if more or less than 38% of Congress approve of the budget, the approval rating mentioned before, or if the presidential budget is more aggressive than a surplus of 1% of the national debt, the minimums set forth under my proposal. We start the math with a national debt of $11.691 trillion and a deficit of just over $1 trillion a year, as per the wiki articles below. Under my Step 1 Condition 2, the proposed budget needs to have a surplus of $116.91 billion, 1% of the national debt. I do not propose here how to get to that number. That's up to the president to decide. What's important is the budget has a surplus of just under $117 billion in this example. The CD times rating column refers to the current deficit times the percentage of votes the old budget received, based on the assumption that only 38%, Obama's lowest Gallup approval rating, would vote for the new budget, or 62% approval for the old budget. The PB times rating column is the proposed budget times the approval rating. The percentage of votes this math assumes it will get, again, 38%. The new budget is simply the CD times rating column and the PB times rating column added together as of Step 4 in my proposal. In this first year of voting, Congress votes for a budget with a deficit of $675 billion. The proposed budget ends up with a surplus of about $44.5 billion, leading to a compromise budget of around $361 billion in the whole, leading to a new debt of just over $12.3 trillion. In year 2, we start with the $12.3 trillion debt from the last year and a budget deficit of $361 billion, again from last year. Under these requirements, the President has to propose the 1% of debt in a surplus budget, in this case, $123 billion. Almost $8 billion more than last year, whether it's through increased taxes, cut spending, or a mixture of the two, that's beyond the scope of this video. Well, we continue the pattern until after 6 cycles, we end up with a budget surplus of almost $42 billion. Note, after the final budget is balanced after voting, my system has built into it the headroom for either tax cuts or spending expansions as the president wants, as since the required proposed budget is 1% of national debt as a surplus, the minimum drops by about 0.5% each year, since the debt drops by that much by each year that actually has a surplus. Under this example, the headroom is only about $400 million in cuts or spending, but it's there for the president to use. The line that's underscored represents the end of Obama's term if this is imposed next year. The italics are the potential budgets of whoever's elected next, also assuming that he or she, has the same approval or congressional support as Obama. Under these assumptions, again, 38%. The year in bold represents the year the budget is finally balanced, allowing for the 2017 to 2020 president to have an election year with both a balanced budget and a small leeway to tweak the budget for campaign promises or what have you. As a final thought, I also have ideas that would allow the people to have more of a say in the budget by requiring the candidates to come up with campaign budgets open to the public and simplified to protect national security, with the final budget proposed to Congress based on a similar proportional vote, this time using either the popular or electoral college vote and the proposed budgets of all the candidates, but that's another video for another time and completely independent of what I'm proposing here. Well, this has been a long-winded robble on balancing the national budget. Comments or video responses telling me how I'm wrong, or right, there's always a first time, are always welcome. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.